The wages are lower. We've definitely got a more youthful outlook now, and it means that we can grow into the future rather than worrying about declines. And welcome back to another episode of Rebuilding Bolton. If you're still enjoying it, drop a like, that'd be fantastic. So, it's the start of Season 3. We didn't get to the Championship at the first time of asking, and I'm not entirely sure how I feel about that. It would be silly of me to say that I'm happy that we didn't get promoted, but at the same time, as many of you in the comments pointed out, it is a bit of a blessing in disguise in many ways, as I just don't know if we were quite able to handle it. The big reason that I would have liked a first promotion like that just to really bomb up there, would have been potentially for the financial benefits of it, because we are, as you can see, 1.4 million in debt. We still have an incredible amount of loan repayments to go through for the next 4 years still. So really, that's going to be the key for us staying afloat in this period, essentially. I have literally spent in this entire transfer window a grand total of £0 on transfers. I'm still trying to do it as cheap as physically possible and spending that money on getting the players good wages, or just trying to do this as shoestring as we possibly can, and we are very much continuing that right now, essentially. We do still have, as you can see, 200k in transfer funds, so if I do see another Guy Porteous-esque player, and there is a guy I'm looking at from Motherwell, I may well be tempted to pick them up as well, but it's not my main priority right now. It's just saving as much money as physically possible at this point, and we've even done some of that with our first team contracts, but we'll talk about that more in a minute. But needless to say, that was certainly an incredibly intense playoff final. And I hope that one of the things people have often said is that sometimes it can get boring when we move up the leagues too quickly. And I completely understand. But at the same time, I'm also not going to try to disrupt us too much. But that's why I want to persist with the tactic we're playing, because I do think there's probably better ways of doing this. But I like the added challenge, and I think that's definitely going to get more and more difficult as we move up the leagues. And I personally think that that's going to mean that we have to focus more on the recruitment side of things than just trying to find some OP tactic kind of thing. And that's what I hope that we're going to do during this save. But first, I have to show you this. I have to. So, after we lost the playoff final, I was presented with this in the board confidence. The overall board confidence. The board are disappointed that the team only reached only reached the final of the League One playoffs. Bearing in mind, their expectation was mid-table. Or is it top half? Either way, not that. Then, the underachievement is compounded by the fact that we looked on to be on course for promotion earlier in the campaign. When? I think we occupied its second spot once, maybe twice, 2 match days, all season. This board are actually nuts. So yeah, we got a C- for losing the playoff final in a season that we were expected to come like mid-table. So GG. It'll be a holy day when I see it say, board takeover done. That will be the best day. But now, positive news. The players we've brought in. And I think there's some good ones in here, and I think we can still bring in a couple more potentially. But first, let's go to players that are returning. So you could have guessed this one already. Brandon Fleming, back, you already knew this though, for another season here. Happy to have the lad in. I actually went back in for that guy, Blake Tracy, that went to Charlton last year because they released him. He chose to go to someone else this time. He just doesn't like me, I'm sorry. I just can't get him in. Akinfenmewo, similar story. You all knew about him. He was definitely coming back this year as well, worth £3.3 million. I'm actually amazed Norwich City let us have him back again this season. I think he could be absolutely key for us promotion-wise this season defensively. And the last of the returning signings, it's Rodell Richards. Now, you might think, but weren't you going to get him on a free? Yeah, he signed a new contract with Tottenham on the very day that I was then able to offer him the approach to sign bit. When it ticks over to the 1st of June, he signed his contract on the 31st of May or 30th of May. So, yeah, that's not going to happen. But we did manage to get back on loan. He's on $5,000 a week or something now. So we're paying very little of his wages still, which is very nice of Spurs to actually allow us to have him back again. So hopefully he can have a better season than he did last year, continue to develop and lead us the line through the middle. Now, don't worry, we have signed another striker, though, an actual striker as well to go alongside him. So the first player to come in is Kian Breckin, who's coming from Manchester City. He's an attacking midfielder. Now, it says on Gonch, but honestly, he's got decent enough finishing, composure, anticipation, decisions that I feel like this guy could easily do the shadow striker role with a bit of, room. However, he does lack that physicality and his acceleration. That's the one thing. For a player who's so small, he's not the quickest, so we will get him working on that, but he has a great first touch, passing, vision. Heck, he could even sit slightly deeper with his 10 tackling as well. In fact, what do you reckon? Should we retrain this guy to play slightly deeper, or should we try to go full on into the shadow striker role with Kian Breckin? Because he's on a free transfer. Some of these guys you're about to see, I honestly don't know if they are real players or regens, and in fact, if you could tell me that, that would be spectacular. But yeah, free transfer from Man City, hopefully a lot of room to grow. A lot of these players I brought in on these free transfers from the Prem clubs, when they initially came in, their potential went down to like 3 stars, even though it was 5 stars initially, and now it's back up to 5 stars again. I think it's because my scouts get a good report of them. They then join, my assistant takes a look and goes, nah. And then after a while, he's like, oh yeah, no, actually, they're really good. That seems to be how it goes. That's been like that both seasons so far. Next up is a lad that's coming from Spurs. This is Ronaldo Toray. He is an Albanian left winger, although, hang on a minute. Wait, I literally looked at him like 10 seconds ago. Oh no, wait, it's a different guy. So yeah, the main thing about him is, again, through that middle area. Now, he does lack the composure a little bit, and should we ever change the system, which I really don't think I will, for a left-sided player, he's another one of those sort of interesting prospects on that side. They're all on cheap money. I thought just hoovering up a few of these guys will really just strengthen the squad in general. Another lad from Spurs. This is Roshan Mathurin, who, this is the one I was thinking of. He obviously is an inverted winger or an inside forward on this side. However, we could train him to play on the right-hand side. He's got reasonable pace and acceleration. Still only 18, remember. Anticipation of 9, passing of 9, technique's good, good flair, good off the ball, great dribbling of 14 as well, solid first touch, and crossing of 9 could definitely be worked on, and I intend to absolutely get him to do that right now. So I definitely think he's a good prospect for that right-hand side this season. And again, for a free transfer on virtually no money, on a 3-year deal this time, I was very much happy to bring Roshan Mathurin in. Next up is Callum Doyle. I showed you him in the last episode, I believe. So he has actually joined us now. You can see I really, really like this guy. He is extraordinarily good in the air and has decent heading to go with it. He kind of just covers all the bases. And at only 18, with hopefully a lot of room to grow, I think he could become something pretty damn excellent for us. But we will have to see how that one goes. And the last of the players that came in on that exact same situation is Josh Tobin. Comes in on a free transfer from Chelsea. He is very much a central midfielder, box to box. I mean, that's where he would have to play, probably. I think he's better there than as a Met Salah, but with his great tackling, excellent work rate, he's got great mobility as well, despite only being 5'7", of course. He's got very good mentals as well for an 18-year-old. I like him, good marking. I feel like if he was a lot taller, he'd be an excellent sort of, well, he wouldn't be that good of a centre-back. I don't know. I feel like he could definitely do a job, but he's going to need a bit of moulding. In fact, again, let me know your thoughts on what we should do with Josh Tobin, because I actually think he's come up better than I thought he was going to be, to be honest. He was only rated at 1.5 stars originally, and he seems to be taken to this pretty nicely already. So pleased for Josh Tobin. Next up is Kun Temenezkov, a Bulgarian striker that we've signed on a free transfer from Leeds United. Not super excited, but I'm curious to see what he can do for us. Again, it's a free transfer. He's got a reasonable amount of pace, good finishing, dribbling first touch, composure of 13, anticipation. He ticks a lot of the boxes I want from a solid striker at this level, which is just to be sort of everything here to be above 11, sort of 12 on these really important ones here. He's got a decent amount of pace while he goes with it. He's actually not got bad passing or vision and teamwork either. He can really link things up for us quite nicely, which is definitely an interesting factor that we are perhaps missing before. Good flair. I think he's not bad for 22 years old. We've got him on a 3-year deal. He's already worth 400k. At the end of the day, if he's not a massive success, there's still potential for selling him on, and it does give us more options now with Rodo Richards and Temenezkov up top. It means that we don't have to rely on Owen Doyle quite so much, and I feel that's definitely strengthened us. Now, he is on $2,000 a week, so the bit more money was put into that one for sure. Next up is another free signing, but this is a real player, and he came through a slightly different way. This is Josh Brooking. Basically, I just saw this guy on a free from Chelsea. I mean, I know that he's on a lot more money than some of the others because he's a bit more developed, but I like him. Now, the thing about him as well is he has a left foot which is reasonable, which is what I want. Now, I'm slowly training him to play further up, but I genuinely feel like he could do the job there already. He's got great physicality, 6'1", but has 17 acceleration and 16 pace. Very, very nice indeed. Good tackling, decent marking issues. Positioning is the only thing that's a little bit worrying there. Good work rate. Crossing and dribbling are pretty good for him as well. Obviously, that's not the be-all and end-all. Passing's okay. I quite like this guy, and so I was willing to take the punt to bring him in to really try to strengthen us, at least for the future, in that position with some players leaving. And now on to our Chelsea loanees. So this is Charlie Webster. I like this guy a lot. He is very, very nice indeed. 3-star currently, obviously has room to grow, but obviously he's on loan from Chelsea on a free transfer. Can dribble, got good long shots, good passing, good vision. Tackling's the one sort of downside for him. Technique is excellent, good work rate. He's reasonably good on the physicals too. Got good acceleration. He's got good natural fitness as well, and his stamina's pretty solid too. I think Charlie Webster could be a very solid option in our midfield this season to really bolster that area. Sarcevic is still here. For those of you wondering, he is still here. I have given him a new contract. It is much, much cheaper than it was before. I think we've halved his wages, and he was happy to stay for a 2-year extension. So just to have him back, I was pleased with that. And the last of the players I've currently signed is Luke Badley Morgan. And you can now sort of understand why Callum Doyle might not be able to be in our team every single week, because Badley Morgan is a pretty solid player. Really. Decent passing as well and vision, so he could cover the RCN role if we should need him to. So having him in there as well. We're having to rely on the loan signings. We could probably get one more from Chelsea, perhaps, if we can find someone who's decent. But Chelsea were not really willing to let us have that many players. They wouldn't let us have MPH back. They wouldn't let us have Livramento. So, yeah, it wasn't as good. The wages are lower. we've definitely got a more youthful outlook now, and it means that we can grow into the future rather than worrying about declines. As you can see here, it's actually quite a long list. Some of them I was on the fence about, some of them I'm not. Gethin Jones, he was one of the ones I was on the fence about. The problem was, when I tried to offer him a new deal, he wanted $4,500 a week, and he's an Australian international now, so it meant that there was very little wiggle room in terms of contracts, and he was not worth $4,500 a week. Hickman's gone. Darcy I was a bit sad about, as with Sonny Graham. Nathan Wally as well, but they weren't developing, and they were never going to play for us, unfortunately. Maskell as well. Crawford is probably the biggest name in there that's left us as well. But again, 30 years old, on a lot of money, and wasn't getting any better. So I think we had to make the right choice there just to sort of freshen things up a little bit. So that's how that went. We then went into the EFL Cup, basically. We're 2-0 up in the... It always seems to be the case. Once again, penalties. Critchlow Noble and Timanuskov gave us the lead in this one before Wigan scored in the 86th and 90th minute. It wasn't fantastic. Thankfully, we did win on pens in the end and do sneak through to the next round, so that's good. We're at least doing the board's dirty work on that particular side of things. Today, though, I think we start off against Shrewsbury Town, which is an interesting one. So all in all, though, I'm excited for this season. There are some difficult sides in this league now. We cannot beat around the bush. Millwall are down here as well now. QPR are down in this division. Definitely some difficult teams to play this season. And Wigan as well. So, yeah, automatics are going to be tough, but I feel like we can do it. The only one thing I'd be tempted to change about the tactic is potentially making it so that we go on attacking more often, essentially. So, Booty Webster as the midfielders right now with Isgrove on the right. Yeah. Although Isgrove can actually... Webster can cover there too, which is very nice. Actually, no, what we said was it was going to be Clough through the middle and Porteous out wide, wasn't it? Fleming and not Hosanna. Like, my assistant obviously doesn't rate Brooking in that role just yet because obviously he's not fully confident, but he does have the general attributes for it as well. So, backline for Mayo, Critchlow Noble and Badley Morgan. That, to me, is a very strong back three. And Ziege in goal, obviously. Charlotte never came in for a bid for him, so we kept him. Right, let's dig in. That is an incredibly defensive team. Mother of God. But it'd be nice to start off with a win now, wouldn't it? The board's target for this year may well be playoffs. My target is automatics. In fact, my overall target really is to try and win this league. But I would happily take automatics. And worst comes to worst, if we were to go up through the playoffs somehow, I'd still take that. But I genuinely feel like we need to be taking that step forward this season. And at times last year, I think we showed title winning potential, but we're just too inconsistent and players just couldn't quite keep it up for the full season. Hopefully this year, though, we can do that with this fresh impetus that we've brought in this summer. Porteous has made the run. He's round the side. Can he knock it across for someone? Pulls it back for Webster. Oh, it's on. It's inside. Oh, there we go. Timanuskov, 3 minutes into the game, of Bolton lead. That is a very good piece of anticipation there from Timanuskov. Wonderful work there. Second goal of the season for him. Yeah, lovely bit of patience here from Webster and a gorgeous little ball into the channel for Porteous. The patience is really nice here, but I thought this was a shot from Webster and it's actually turned out to be a cross and Timanuskov is at the back post to score his second goal of the season already. That's what I like to see. 1-0 early days. And I don't know what Badley Morgan's doing. Cummings with Fameru coming across. Oh, and a great stop from Carlo Ziege. That is the kind of goalkeeping we need. Back to Booty. See if we can engineer something. Again, the possession's looking good. We're keeping Shrewsbury penned in, which isn't surprising given their system. Porteous. And pulls it back across for Brooking. Oh, square it. Oh, somebody shoot. Webster can't turn. Oh, we just overplayed it slightly there. There was probably a chance to get a shot in. We didn't take it. But so far, so good from the lads. Fleming again out there. I want to see 10 assists from him this year. I want him to be excellent. Oh, he's in. He's in. Porteous! Good save from the goalkeeper, but Porteous got in there. Fleming. Driving towards the box. To Timanuskov and a good save from the goalkeeper again, but he is getting into some excellent spots so far, and I'm a fan. Cut out well. And Timanuskov with that extra pace. One touch to set himself. Oh, the cheek of this guy could be your new hero. Timanuskov with his second goal of the match already. He's scored in both games for us so far. He's got that little extra pace and just that little extra mental fortitude perhaps than Rodo Richards. I don't know. But lovely ball through from Josh Brooking. Gorgeous stuff. But the composure here to just dink the goalkeeper with the outside of his foot and make it 2-0 before half-time. This is looking very good, my friends. I know it's only Shrewsbury, but still. It'd be a good way to start, though, if we could actually put a spanking on someone early days, as Isgrove is straight into action here and tipped wide by Burgoyne. Yeah, I'd say we probably deserve that lead right now. We are looking excellent. A couple more in the second half would be nice to add to that as well. Just keep Timanuskov firing. He looks superb so far. Maybe get him off after a bit and get Rodo Richards on too, though. Isgrove dispossessed and Cummings is actually in behind there. This could be a chance back for Shrewsbury, and it actually is. Well, they've basically done nothing in this game, but that's just the constant threat that we seem to have in these second halves as the legs start to go. I have made a couple of subs, but I mean, that one is more about Lloyd Isgrove here, actually, just getting very easily dispossessed, and then I think it's because the libero had pushed up into the midfield. It left the gap. That's why I wonder if a support... Oh, it's through the keeper's legs as well. If a supporting libero might actually be the better option of the two. Sarcevic out wide. Good stuff. For Mayo, loads of room back to Oh, well, very fancy football. Will he just shoot in the end? He's going to have to shoot, surely. Oh! Wow. Oh, wow, that was an absolute melee in the box. Nice patience, though, between the two of them. Didn't end up with the goal, though. I'm going to go Rodell Richards for the final 15 minutes of this one, just to see if he offers something a little, just some extra quality through the middle. 5 minutes of stoppage time here. I think you could argue we deserve this win fairly comfortably, and 2-1, if anything, is a bit harsh on us. But at the end of the day, if you get the win, you get the win. And that's kind of what matters here. And I think as we get a bit more consistency, hopefully we'll start to not win these games by 2-1, and then instead, you know, put 3 or 4 past people. But nevertheless, we've started the season off with a win. That's really what's important there. Good performance overall. Took a lot of our chances on the night. Isgrove was dreadful when he came on, and I'm starting to think that perhaps he's just not the man for that job, because we've seen good performances there, just not from him lately. Anyway, Brooking kind of struggled, which is understandable, but he did get the assist for one of the goals. He will get used to that role as well, and I think that there's definitely something there, maybe moving RCN back a little bit deeper. Not sure yet, but still, we won the game. That's what matters. So, next episode, we're going to come back for Ipswich. Look at the number of games we have in August. This is actually ridiculous. I don't know how that episode is going to be structured. We'll just start with Ipswich. If you've enjoyed this, drop a like. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. I stream on Twitch on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and at the weekends, so go follow there as well. That'll be awesome, and I'll see you guys soon. Hold your gun, Capybara. Bye-bye.